Continuing from the previous episode 815. This guy, so strong. 8-star Do-D is complete. It seems that even the fire beasts underestimate him. Xiao Yan forcibly resisted the powerful suppression emanating from the vicious old monster, and spoke slightly. This vicious old monster is so tyrannical. I am afraid that it is difficult to enter the spring of life and death in his hands. So many beauties, I'm afraid I can keep my youth forever. Ha ha ha. As soon as the vicious old monster appeared, his eyes swept away. Seeing so many women, he immediately looked at Mu Yingying and the women with a sneer, but his heart burst into laughter. The vicious old monster has actually survived for thousands of years, but as the time goes on, the strength cannot be broken through, so it causes the appearance of old age. But I don't know where the vicious old monster learned that, as long as he absorbs the spirit of young women, he can temporarily maintain his youth. Although the vicious old monster also knows that this method is not good, and it will be punished by God for a long time, but the vicious old monster has no other way, so the vicious old monster has also become a monster that kills women. The energy to keep your youthful appearance. Shameless. After hearing this, Mu Yingying opened her mouth slightly, as if she noticed that the vicious old monster was staring at the women with extremely unfriendly eyes. You guy. After a while, a silver mouse suddenly appeared inside the vicious old monster, and said to him with a look of disdain. What do you know? If I don't absorb the spirit of the woman, I'm afraid I will grow old again. When I see that old appearance, I can't wait to die. So I was forced to do so. There was a hint of pain on the cheeks of the vicious old monster Junsho. This guy actually focuses on absorbing women's spirit, no wonder he is so young. Shu Qi seemed to have discovered something, and then spoke slowly. What should I do now? Mu Feng also discovered that the vicious old monster in front of him had the perfection level of the 8-star Do-D, not to mention Xiao Yan and Shu Qi who were present. I'm afraid everyone might not be able to fight together. Do it. Seeing that there was no way to resolve the matter, Xiao Yan immediately snorted. Go ahead, don't say that you weren't given a chance. Before you die, you still have a chance to fight. The vicious old monster said as if he had a chance to win. Even with his strength at the level of Shuqi Kixing Do Emperor, he didn't have any fear at all. Looks like this guy. The silver mouse sighed slightly, looking at the vicious old monster, but the next moment it saw Xiao Yan, it opened his mouth. Why does this guy seem to have something in his body the same as the guy in Guanghan Island? Is it an illusion? The silver mouse said slowly, and then returned to the vicious old monster's clothes. The silver mouse naturally knows about the mystery of Yuru's possession of the inheritance rune, but the silver mouse also knows that Yueru has the inheritance rune. In this ruin, I am afraid that the vicious old monster wants to kill them, obviously not. Buy me some time. Yueru gritted her silver teeth and said something to Xiao Yan and the others, then she closed her eyes and did not speak, but the inheritance rune on the forehead faintly radiated a huge wave fluctuation. Are you triggering the inheritance rune? Qin Xin was well informed and knew at a glance what Yueru was doing. In the ruins, it is the inheritance place of Fairy Moon, and Yuru's body has the inheritance rune of Fairy Moon, and Yuru's actions are likely to call for the inheritance rune. Only in this way can everyone deal with this vicious old monster who is as powerful as the 8-star Do-D perfection level in front of them. Make a move, buy some time, Mu Yingying, Leng Fuyao. The two of you are optimistic about Yueru, the others, let's go together. After the simple arrangement, Xiao Yan did not hesitate, and the power of Holy Flame burst out in an instant. This time, he was facing a powerhouse of the 8-star Do Emperor perfection level. Xiao Yan knew that if he was hiding, he would probably end up here this time. Good guy, he's still a kid with Holy Flame. If that's the case, then I'll accept it with a smile. After the vicious old monster finished speaking, an extremely greedy look slowly emerged on his cheeks. Great heavens, good fortune, Palm. Xiao Yan said it was too late. The dazzling power of Holy Flame gathered in the palm of his hand, and slapped the vicious old monster with one palm, and the terrifying flame fluctuations instantly turned into deadly bullets. Shoot! Seeing this, Shu Qi didn't hesitate. All the dazzling attacks all over her body rushed towards the vicious old monster. It could be seen that the intensity of this attack was even more terrifying than when she fought against Xu Guang before. Yin Yang gossip, behead. Mu Feng also burst out with extremely tyrannical power. Go! Qin Shin also didn't dare to hold back. It's just a bunch of rabble. The gap between the powerhouses cannot be made up by the few of you. The vicious old monster seemed unmoved by the attack of the four, and then made a slight voice, but there was an extremely strong voice in his voice. Disdain feeling. Go away. Not long after, just when the four huge forces were about to attack the vicious old monster suddenly showed a strange smile, and then spoke slightly. As soon as the vicious old monster opened his mouth, a dazzling white energy suddenly appeared around his body, but there was a faint black aura in the white. Damn! This guy's 8-star Do-D's consummate strength actually gave birth to the power of death. Xiao Yan was shocked. The power of life and the power of death are two different things. The difference between having the power of life and not having the power of life is not very big, but the premise of giving birth to the power of death is to have the power of life. Moreover, the power of death is generally only born when the 8-star Do Emperor has successfully broken through the 9-star Do Emperor. Furthermore, this vicious old monster has the power of death, which is a terrifying power that can cause instant kills, so it is no wonder that Xiao Yan and the others are so shocked. Ha ha ha! Several, die. Don't worry, after you die, I will bury your body completely. After the vicious old monster finished speaking, the attacks of Xiao Yan and the four instantly turned into nothingness, and then the dazzling power of life and death on the vicious old monster was not at all. The weakened, attacked Xiao Yan and the others. Just when the vicious old monster's power of life and death attacked, everyone clearly felt a wave of death. Is it over? Mu Feng muttered to himself. However, the four of them did not sit still. Xiao Yan, Xu De, Qin Shin, and Mu Yingying, they all seemed to be brewing something, and the inheritance rune on Yu Ru's forehead also showed a mysterious he fluctuated and immediately hit the force of life and death that was about to attack Xiao Yan. Vicious old monster, the inheritor I chose, you can also move. The next moment, a sweet female voice with the coercion of heaven and earth instantly echoed in the spring of life and death. Ask for a ticket today's 8th watch, today's 5th watch, and yesterday's 3rd watch when something went wrong. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 817. Nonsense. Don't you know what state your body is in now? This time, the relic masters asked me to take you out, and I will bring you back intact. Otherwise, how can I explain to the Deputy Hall Master Mu Shuji? No. Facing Mu Yingying's words, Xiao Yan directly refused. But, you really need that thing. Mu Yingying also rarely saw Xiao Yan get so angry, and immediately said weakly. Although she herself knew more about her physical condition than Xiao Yan, this was Xiao Yan's last chance, and Mu Yingying didn't want to watch Xiao Yan go down in decadence. That thing is precious, and it is not as important as the life of a companion. Xiao Yan reluctantly said, Ah puff, you too. Just as Xiao Yan and Mu Yingying were arguing, Fairy Moonlight suddenly laughed out loud. Senior, do you have any good ideas? Seeing this, Mu Yingying immediately cast her eyes at Fairy Bright Moon for help. Just repairing the spring won't cost you much. At best, you will lose some of the source of holy flames. Although I don't know the secrets in your body very well, repairing the spring's eye just requires the power of the holy flame. Although it will hurt the body a little, it will not be fatal. Fairy Moonlight said, Really? Mu Yingying was overjoyed when she heard the words. If it was just some physical injuries, then by virtue of Xiao Yan's identity as a pharmacist, it would obviously not be difficult to recover. Well, so you can go on boldly and at ease. Fairy Moonlight said something. Is it okay? Xiao Yan was shocked when he heard the words, but he couldn't help but ask. Xiao Yan knew Mu Yingying's feelings for him from the beginning, but Xiao Yan didn't want to owe Mu Yingying too much, so even if this life and death were precious, Xiao Yan didn't want anything to happen to Mu Yingying. After all, Xiao Yan he promised Mu Yingying to help him find her brother. No, Fairy Moon smiled sweetly. It's not too late. Where is the fountain? Seeing that the matter had been confirmed, Xiao Yan did not hesitate. The springs of the 2 Yaikuan of life and death are at the edge of the 2 circular islands. Fairy Moonlight said, Let's go. Mu Yingying stepped forward slightly and then said to Xiao Yan, Be careful. Seeing this, Yu Ru couldn't help but utter an order. Although she couldn't help Xiao Yan right now, Yu Ru swears that she must *** Xiao Yan over. After all, as my father said, if you like it, you have to fight for it, otherwise, if you don't even dare to fight, you will only be a loser. Yes. Xiao Yan agreed softly, and immediately jumped into the roundabout with Mu Yingying on the left and right. Fairy Moonlight, don't think that if the two of them have two holy flames, they can repair the spring eye. Where is the spring eye? But even I can't do anything about it. How much holy flame power can the two mere 6-star fighting emperors exert? The vicious old monster couldn't help but speak while being restrained by Fairy Moon. You can't help it. It doesn't mean that others have no choice. Furthermore, you underestimated the power of holy flame too much. Fairy Jiaoyue laughed. Ru Yoru finished. Senior, I don't know the inheritance rune on my forehead. Seeing Xiao Yan and the two of them go down, Yu Ru immediately asked Fairy Jiaoyue. The priority now is inheritance, and other things are nothing compared to this. It's different from the feeling of being a little witch. The inheritance rune on your forehead was naturally planted by me. Fairy Moon said upon seeing this. Having this inheritance rune will indeed give you a greater chance than others to approach my inheritance, but this is just a few more opportunities. Everything depends on you. Fairy Moon said thoughtfully. I see. Thank you, Senior. Yu Ru heard the words and seemed to know something, and gently stroked the silver moon above her forehead with her hand. Besides, since you have already summoned me, there is no need for other things. When the matter of life and death Ariquan is over here, take the token of entering Guanghan Island and go directly to where. What you want to know and what they need are all on Guanghan Island. Fairy Moon said, Senior, won't you come with us? Yueru was shocked when she heard this. I am just an illusory remnant soul now, and it will dissipate if I persist for a long time, and I can only rely on you in the future. However, in Guanghan Island, there is indeed another avatar of mine, and that avatar is the real place to hold and keep the inheritance. Fairy Jiaoyue said, Okay, this remnant soul won't last long, but even if I dissipate, the asterisk that binds the vicious old monster will not be released. After all, this is my territory. After Fairy Moonlight finished speaking, her figure suddenly became illusory. A lot. Also, the token you need to enter Guanghan Island, just take it from this vicious old monster. After saying this sentence, the Fairy Moonlight disappeared like a bright moon, directly disappearing in the second ritual of life and death. Next to the spring, this asterisk woman. Hearing this, the vicious old monster suddenly looked ugly. I heard that you have a token to enter Guanghan Island? Yueru stepped forward slightly and spoke. No, the vicious old monster roared directly. Humph. I advise you to be wise and hand over that thing as soon as possible, otherwise you will inevitably suffer some flesh and blood. Shu Qi stepped forward gently and smiled softly. You guys. Seeing these women staring at him with malicious intent, the vicious old geek immediately felt a chill on his back, and he kept thinking about whether to hand over that thing. But the silver mouse in the villainous old monster's clothes murmured, It's another group of people who want to find me. The feng shui turns. Qin Xin also smiled and stared at the vicious old monster, as if she had some new ideas. I'll give it to you. After a while, the vicious old monster gritted his teeth and spoke directly. It's not too bad. Shu Qi heard the words, and there was no sign of doing anything to the vicious old monster. After all, Shu Qi was also afraid that if he did it too hard, if this vicious old monster is at the price of self-destruction, which obviously outweighs the gain. Silver Rat, come out for me. The next moment, the vicious old monster lowered his head and called into his clothes. What is he doing? Yueru asked in confusion. It should be calling for something. I just found out that there seems to be something in this guy's clothes. At this time, Lang Fuyao stepped forward slightly and said, Come out. Although the vicious old monster was bound by Fairy Moon, how could his dignified 8-star Do Emperor's perfection be in vain? Immediately with a hum, a strong wind directly threw the guy inside the clothes out. Why is it so exaggerated? A dissatisfaction sounded slightly, and then everyone saw that a mouse with silver hair slowly fell to the ground, and then complained. This is the token you want to enter Guanghan Island, take it and leave quickly. The vicious old monster glanced at the silver mouse on the ground and said immediately. Is this the thing? This guy won't lie to us, right? Qin Xin couldn't help laughing when she saw this. How could the token of entering Guanghan Island be such a little mouse? You are the little mouse. This uncle is very powerful. Yingwang Rat seemed to have sensed Qin Xin's gaze, and said immediately. Ask for tickets. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 818. My uncle? Qin Shin felt amused when she heard the words. Although the monsters who can speak human words are all Zeons, Qin Shin didn't feel any other fluctuations from this silver mouse at all. This guy, it seems a bit like the legendary silver light mouse. After a while, Yueru suddenly said, "Silver rat?" Following Yueru's words, both Shu Qi, Qin Shin, and Mu Feng Lang Fuyao all cast suspicious glances at him. "I also know this information from the inheritance rune," Yu Ru hurriedly explained. "The so-called silver light mouse is said to be the key that the fairy moon has raised to open the palaces everywhere. Don't underestimate this guy. Although this guy is weak in combat, it is too easy for him to open some ruins or door locks," Yueru said. "And this kind of monster." Qin Shin heard the words and shook her head. Even with her experience, she had never heard of such a thing before, so she couldn't help but nod. "Hey, now you know how powerful this uncle is?" Yingwang Rat listened to Yuru's introduction of himself, and immediately became even more proud. "Can this guy open the iron gate to gossip when we enter the ruins?" Mu Feng seemed to still be a little unconvinced and asked directly. "Don't insult me with that kind of thing. That kind of thing, my uncle can open it with one finger." The silver light mouse said with disdain. "Silver Rat, come with us. I think you should also want to go to Guanghan Island." Yueru thought about it and said, "I don't want to stay with this vicious old monster for a long time. If it hadn't been there for a long time, I'm afraid I would have left long ago." Yingwang Rat glanced at the vicious old monster with disdain. He hated the spirit of other women, but he had no choice but to beat him, so he could only compromise and wait for others to rescue him. "You bastard! I knew it would swallow you." Facing the ridicule of the silver light rat, the vicious old monster said angrily. He, vicious old monster, I didn't expect you to have today. You just wait to die slowly. My uncle won't accompany you anymore," Yingwang Rat said with a smile. After speaking, she seemed to be thinking, and then she was about to say something to Yueru and the others. "But I said in advance that I can help you know where there are traps, but you will deal with the enemy, and I only need to open the lock, and you have to be responsible for my life safety." Yingwang Rat thought about it. It can't be so easy to be cheap. The group of people in front of them immediately laughed. "Okay, no problem," Shu Qi answered directly. "As long as this guy can unlock the entrance to Guanghan Island, then naturally he doesn't need it for other things. If that's the case, then wait for Xiao Yan and the others to repair the spring and go straight to Guanghan Island after the two of life and death are resolved," Yueru said, and then everyone became quiet. Plop. Xiao Yan and Mu Yingying entered the spring separately, Xiao Yan on the left and Mu Yingying on the right. "It's so cold." As soon as he entered the spring, an invasive cold rushed into Xiao Yan's heart. Facing the sudden cold, Xiao Yan couldn't help shivering a few times, but Xiao Yan rarely had such a reaction. It seems that Fairy Moon is right. There must be something wrong with the spring below. Otherwise, although the spring water here is cold, it is no different from ordinary water. Xiao Yan opened his mouth slightly. At this time, in front of Xiao Yan, there was a colorless and transparent spring. The spring water was crystal clear, and it seemed that he could vaguely see something faintly glowing several hundred meters below him. "What is that?" Xiao Yan couldn't help but became curious, and immediately increased his speed. Gulagulu. Although he was in the spring water outside, but fortunately, Xiao Yan's soul strength was excellent. In addition to the two Saint Yan Emperor Yan, Xiao Yan faced the cold spring water and wrapped himself with the power of flame. When he got up, he was using his soul power to strengthen one. At this point, Xiao Yan dived with confidence. Gulagulu. Just when Xiao Yan dived for 50 meters, the originally clear spring water below suddenly became turbid, and then an irresistible pressure instantly emerged from the bottom of the spring water, and the target of the attack, it was Xiao Yan. Not good. Xiao Yan secretly cried out in his heart. He knew that fighting in the water would weaken his combat ability countless times. Although he is now a 6-star Do Emperor with complete strength, if he is in the water, it would be quite difficult to even deal with a mid-stage 6-star Do Emperor. After all, water overcomes fire, and we are in water again. Fortunately, you can dodge quickly. Xiao Yan's figure was blocked, but fortunately, Xiao Yan's body was slender, and the few easily avoided the attack of the water flow. Strange, is there any guardian below? But there is clearly no other aura below. Xiao Yan was shocked, but he was still vigilant, and his speed slowed down. There is a depth of about 100 meters below this spring of life and death. Xiaoyan has reached a distance of 60 meters at this time. The spring water here has not changed much from the beginning. The only thing I want to say is probably the one here. The water became turbid, and the pressure directly generated by the water flow actually made Xiaoyan feel slightly struggling. The fire is coming. Xiaoyan increased his strength and forcibly opened a space of 1 meter in diameter in the spring water to accommodate his own flame to illuminate below. The flames just appeared, and they immediately attracted some other things, but Xiaoyan looked closely and saw that those things were mayflies, and there was not much danger. 70 meters. Seeing that there is no danger at 60 meters, Xiaoyan dived 10 meters at a certain speed. At this time, Xiaoyan was extremely vigilant, and the spring water below became more and more turbid. Xiaoyan knew that something was wrong with him. It will run away immediately. Is it still all right? Xiaoyan stayed at a distance of 70 meters for a minute, and then he didn't feel any other creatures or danger, so he was immediately surprised. 80 meters dive to 80 meters in Zaidu. Coming here, Xiaoyan only felt that some faint blue light appeared at a distance of 20 meters below him, but due to his vigilance, Xiaoyan did not go down rashly. This is the spring of life and death. If you are a little careless, you may not escape the fate of falling. Shabu shabu. Before Xiaoyan could finish thinking, the water flow at 80 meters suddenly became turbulent, and an indescribable terrifying pressure instantly attacked Xiaoyan. Would you like to play like this? Xiaoyan smiled faintly in the face of the turbulent water, but he did not dare to escape. At this time, he could only condense the power of soul and flame in his body, and directly dissolve the water. What a swift current! Isn't the water in the lower spring dead, and it came from somewhere else? Xiaoyan thought for a moment after dealing with the turbulent water. It doesn't matter, just go down and have a look. It's a big deal, I still have space to teleport. Xiaoyan had an idea in his heart and went straight down. Boom boom boom. Even if Xiaoyan deliberately slowed down his speed, in just a few breaths, Xiaoyan came to 95 meters away from the spring. Then Xiaoyan had difficulty raising his head in the rush of water, but his eyes were attracted by something on a rockery. Yangshuan Iron Mother? Ask for tickets. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 819. Yangshuan Iron Mother? Xiaoyan's eyes were fixed on the thing that glowed with faint blue light on the rockery in front of him. The shock in his tone seemed to be no less than the discovery of holy flame. I didn't expect it to be the Yang mysterious Iron Mother among the Yin and Yang mysterious Iron Mothers. This thing is said to be the best material for forging magical weapons. It is said that this material has been lost for many years. I can't think of it being encountered by me now. With this thing, I'm afraid I can strengthen the ancient ruler of the different fire eternal. And the broken immortal sword that was given to Mu Yingying before can also be fully recovered. However, if it is farther away from the Yin-Yang profound Iron Mother, I am afraid it is the real treasure. If it is only the Yang Zan Iron Mother, the weapons created will be missing something. But this is enough, Xiaoyan said excitedly. Below Xiaoyan is a rockery. The rockery is about tens of meters in size, and the rockery does not know where it is connected. But at this time, the entrance to the spring was blocked by the fist-sized Yangshuan Iron Mother, so this spring of life and death fell into ruin. No, it shouldn't be that simple here. According to the character of the vicious old monster, it is absolutely impossible not to discover this thing. Even if he doesn't know the purpose of this thing, I think he will definitely open the blocked entrance for the sake of his life and death, but why didn't he open the door? Could it be that there is something in this place that he actually has? Xiaoyan just wanted to reach out to get Yangshuan Iron Mother, but he held back his hand vigilantly and thought. After thinking about it, Xiaoyan glanced over here. This is already the bottom of the spring water, and there is no way to go downstream, and Xiaoyan's soul force also told himself that the rockery and the reef are already linked together. I'm afraid it is unrealistic to break it. Fairy Moonlight said that holy flames are needed to repair the spring eye. Could it be that the vicious old monster didn't break the entrance? It has something to do with holy flame? The next moment, Fairy Moonlight's words echoed in Xiaoyan's mind, and he immediately spoke out. Road, try it. Xiaoyan's voice just fell, and he immediately summoned the fiery red Saint Flame Crystal directly. With the summoning of the holy flame crystal, the temperature at the bottom of the spring suddenly rose, and there was a faint trace of the temperature of the hot spring. Holy Yan, come out! Xiao Yan shouted loudly, but his eyes did not leave Btth2. And with the appearance of the khaki holy flame, the bottom of the spring also became brighter. Sure enough, the entrance was blocked by Btth2. Using the light of the holy flame, Xiao Yan vaguely discovered that the entrance the size of Kuan Yin's palm was indeed blocked by Btth2. And the Btth Iron Mother, a blob of cyan, lay quietly at the entrance. Sheng Yan, go! Xiao Yan did not hesitate, and directly controlled Sheng Yan to go towards the spring. Shabu shabu! Even if Sheng Yan was terrifying, his strength was greatly reduced at the bottom of this spring, but now he didn't care about it at all, and went straight to the spring. If you want to solve the problem of life and death in Yaiquan, I am afraid you must first solve this Yang Xuanta. Hey! Xiao Yan's holy flame power just touched Btth Iron Mother, and Xiao Yan suddenly let out a doubt. Because of the perception of the naked eye and the power of the soul, Xiao Yan suddenly discovered that the group of holy flames that had just gone towards the Btth Iron Mother had disappeared. Disappeared without a trace? And this reality is when he touches the Btth Iron Mother. What's the situation? Btth Iron Mother will also swallow fire? Xiao Yan had never heard of the statement that Btth Iron Mother would also swallow fire. Btth Iron Mother is the best choice for casting magical weapons. If it is matched with Yin Zan Iron Mother and Yin Yang Zan Iron Mother to forge weapons, the forged weapons will probably be enough to rank in the top 10 of the immortal weapon list. This is the horror of the Yin-Yang mysterious Iron Mother. However, Xiao Yan remembered that the Yin-Yang mysterious Iron Mother lived in the bottomless yin and cold zone since ancient times, and the two are not too far apart. I hope Mu Yingying can have Yin Zan Iron Mother over there. Xiao Yan smiled slightly and retreated randomly to observe Yang Zan Iron Mother, who absorbed the power of his own holy flame. Since Btth devoured Xiao Yan's holy flame, it seems that the faint cyan light has evolved into the earthy yellow color of holy flame, and the holy flame seems to jump up and down in Btth. My holy flame is not so delicious. Seeing this, Xiao Yan couldn't help but smile. Puff puff. After a while, Xiao Yan's holy flame power flew out of Yang Zan Tai Mu in an instant. Since you want to swallow, then swallow more. The next moment, the holy flame crystal above Xiao Yan's palm exuded a more dazzling khaki color, and the holy flame suddenly poured out of Xiao Yan's body, and immediately go towards Btth Iron Mother. Gula Gulu, Btth seemed to be afraid of the power of the khaki holy flame, and the entrance that only firmly wrapped the spring's eyes suddenly loosened a little. There's a show. Seeing this, Xiao Yan didn't stop, took out a lot of medicinal pills, and then went directly to Btth Iron Mother, trying to consume it alive. On the other side, Mu Yingying was also in exactly the same situation as Xiao Yan. What kind of guy is this? Mu Yingying was covered in azure blue holy flames, and immediately came to the spring, but she was exactly the same as Xiao Yan, and saw a group of black-blue things about the size of a fist blocking the entrance. It turned out that this thing blocked the entrance. Seeing this, Mu Yingying couldn't help but whisper. If Xiao Yan were here, he would have known this thing, and this thing would be the Yin Zan Iron Mother. Together with Yang Zan Iron Mother, they form Yin Yang Zan Iron Mother, which is the best material for truly refining magic weapons. What? How can this thing absorb my power? Mu Yingying turned towards the Btth Iron Mother with her jade hand, trying to remove this thing, but she didn't expect the sudden change. Bastard! At the next moment, Mu Yingying only felt that the power in her body was rapidly draining. It seemed that this mysterious Iron Mother was absorbing her power continuously. Stop it for me. Mu Yingying knew that something would happen if it continued like this, so her face became serious and she let out a coquettish cry. However, no matter what Mu Yingying does, the power in her body will continue to flow out. Sheng Yan, come out. The next moment, Mu Yingying forcibly restrained the feeling of weakness and said. However, just after the azure blue holy flame appeared, Mu Yingying's pupils quickly turned into azure blue, and even the breath of her body was not holy, but a strange greed. Hee hee, I see how long you can hold on. I think it's a little funny when I think that the holy flame will be swallowed by a holy flame spirit. Actually, you and your brother had the strength of fighting immortals and chose to convert to human beings. This is a wrong choice. Your strength is too weak after converting to human, you still want to seal me? Humans are too greedy after all. If other people know your identity, I'm afraid your situation will be extremely bad. Especially, that. The guy who has practiced Fen Ju. I wonder how surprised he will be when he knows your true identity. Am I right, my master, the source of holy flame? Ha ha ha. Mu Yingying with azure pupils suddenly laughed strangely. Ask for tickets. End of this chapter.